idea of a good time never involved camping, bugs, or being hot. My motives for joining were completely selfless, but partly an excuse to get out of the 9-to-5 post-college life. I took to the interwebs to find out everything I could about volunteer life in Senegal. I learned that most Peace Corps volunteers lived in mud brick huts, they had a lot of digestive issues, and they spread world peace through various community projects. Some had giant gardens, where they hosted radio shows, some taught art classes. One of the craziest things I learned about were these mango flies that lay eggs in your clothes as they hang out to dry. I mean, it makes sense, there's no washers and dryers in a rural village. The problem was though, if your clothes weren't completely dried, those eggs could live for weeks in your damp clothes. When you put those damp clothes on, say like your underwear, the warmth from your body would allow those eggs to hatch, and then they would burrow into your skin to grow into adult mango flies. I thought this was hilarious. I remember horrifying my friends' parents with all of these fun details as we talked about the new things I would encounter. I assured everyone that I would not become the unwilling parent to any mango fly babies. About 6 sweaty months into my service, during the rainy season, my clothes had been hanging out to dry for 2 days. I literally waited for the taxi to pull into the compound before I ripped everything off the line and shoved it into my backpack. I spent a couple drunken days on the beach before making the 2-day trip back to where I lived. You know, spreading world peace and all. In the safety of the Peace Corps house, I noticed that I had 2 painful red bumps on each butt cheek and 2 more between my cheeks. I assumed these were pimples, you know, heat, humidity, and sitting in jam-packed public transit cars for 2 days. By the second day, they had grown and become more painful. That morning, I was in the shower and I noticed something on my scrotum. I was like, oh hell no, am I gonna have one of these on my ballsack? My logic, I'm at the Peace Corps house. I have all the meds necessary to make sure this doesn't get infected. So I popped it. This odd looking ball of goop came out and stuck to my finger. That's the gnarliest looking blackhead I've ever seen. As I pulled it in for inspection, yo, it was a larva. I turned the water off, threw my towel around my waist, and ran out into the yard. Annie! Annie had arrived in Senegal about a year before me. She'd become a close friend, and she was the only person at the Peace Corps house with me. She happened to be crossing the yard at that exact moment and stopped dead in her tracks and looked at me in horror. I mean, we lived in a jungle environment with deadly snakes, scorpions, and other critters, so I knew exactly where her mind went. I just squeezed a larva out of my nutsack! She looks at me stoic and points to the house where the phone is located. Go call Med, she said. I go through the full story with the Peace Corps nurse, who agrees that the 6 other bumps within my cheeks are more than likely additional mango fly larvae. I called my mom at 4 a.m. Texas time. When she sleepily answered the phone, I yelled, "Mom, I just squeezed the larva out of my nutsack." Sorry, Mom. She's a good sport. Word quickly got out to the entire Peace Corps community. Because I told a few friends, and like wildfire, the gossip spread. I couldn't believe this was actually happening to me. Larva in my balls and ass. This was equally gross as it was so damn funny. After a night of no sleep, because those little fuckers hurt, and some contradictory medical advice, I was told how to try and force them out. What about the 2 that are hard to reach? I asked the nurse over the phone. We might have to have some help, she said. I turn without saying a word and look at Annie, who's preparing us lunch. She returns my gaze and sternly says, absolutely not. I love you, but I won't do that. Anxiously, I called my friend Dan. Dan was the first person I met in Peace Corps. He was my roommate in DC, and he happened to be in town that day. Dan knew the situation and without pause, agreed to help. Spreading my cheeks was how Dan was going to spread world peace that day. Annie and I I go about the initial birthing process of my unwanted and easy to reach children. As this was the only time that I would ever expel a living being from my body, I told my mother that these were her grandchildren. You had to cover the swollen bump with Vaseline, blocking the air hole, causing the larva to move towards the surface to breathe. You waited about 30 seconds, and then you grabbed on and you squeezed like hell. Annie took pictures of the pale, wrinkly little larva that had made my cheeks their womb. This was how she spread world peace. I knew it was time to give Dan the call, but I figured that if Dan was going to be all up in my business, that I should probably take a shower first. This was before my own personal sexual awakening, so I was made even more uncomfortable by the fact that not many men had really been all up in my business. As I soaked up, my dread and mortification became too much to bear. I had this weird mind over matter, fuck this energy come over me, and I kicked my leg up onto the shelf in the shower. It was much higher than this. My body began to bend in ways I've only seen out of some freak show contortionist. And it was kind of hot. I'm literally looking at my remaining 2 children, and without any Vaseline, I grabbed on and I squeezed like hell. And just like that, my body snapped back into alignment. I have never been able to bend that way since, because I've tried. I called the Peace Corps nurse about 20 minutes after her instructions. Rose, James Harden, we're all clear. What about the 2, she said, even the 2. And I have pictures if you'd like to see. She laughed, told me I was disturbed, fair enough, prescribed a round of antibiotics, and told me not to go back to my village until I'd completed the medication. You know, infections and stuff. I take my antibiotics, dress my fresh wounds, and Annie and I have to get in a car and make a 4-hour drive to another Peace Corps house for an all-sector meeting. As I've said, all the other Peace Corps volunteers know the situation and that I'm coming for this meeting. As the chauffeur unloaded our bags, the gate opened. Alexa made her approach with a devilish grin on her face. We have an idea, she said. We're gonna number them, smear your ass in Vaseline, and place bets on the first one to come out. This was how she planned on spreading world peace. I give her the all clear speech, and as if someone had stolen her lollipop, she turned, dropped her head, and sadly entered the house. About 15 seconds later, there was this collective groan of, no! From about 30 bored individuals who had been anticipating this moment for hours. Peace Corps volunteers are sick, depraved individuals. One of the first things I did was log on to the Peace Corps Senegal Facebook page. I uploaded 4 photos of my children and wrote out this fun little message to the newly incoming group of peacemakers. Hey y'all, I just squeezed 7 larvae out of my ass and ball sack. Can't wait to meet everyone in 2 weeks. What was most shocking was how empowering this moment really was. After all the sweat and those digestive issues I had read about, I had just survived what is still one of the most fucked up yet ridiculous experiences of my life. How's that for spreading world peace?